Congratulations, Alexis, on a win that takes Liverpool 5 points clear at the top of the table heading into this international break. How significant does that feel?
Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely a very big win against a very good team. I think we dominated the game. We played a very good game. The goals came in counter-attacks, but I think overall the team played a very good game. So we are happy with it. We know that, as you said, we are top of the league, but there is still a lot of games, so we take it step by step.
As a former Brighton player, your old club did you a bit of a favour coming into this game. Did you know the result before your game kicked off?
Yeah, I did know. We were watching the game. Happy for Brighton. As you know, I have a very special feeling for them. I'm really grateful. And at the same time, they are in a very good moment. They won against one of the best teams in the world right now. So happy for them, but we are not thinking about other teams. We just focus on ourselves.
I know you'll say it's early in the season, but does it feel like you've got a real hold of this title race now?
Yes, of course. If you're top of the league, 5 points ahead, then it means something. But as I said, I think we have to go step by step. If you asked me before the season started, I wouldn't say that we were candidates, but now it looks like. So we are going to keep working and try to keep getting better.
And when you have a player in your team like Mo Salah, it's quite incredible, isn't it? He already has 20 goal involvements this season alone. What is it like to have a teammate like him?
Yeah, he's so good and so important for this team. I think we all know. Not just for the team, for the club as well. He's a legend here, so happy for him. And yes, when you have him, you know that he's gonna deliver. He's gonna get the numbers. So yeah, we're happy that he's playing for us.
Congratulations and well done tonight.
Thank you very much.
He's just on fire at the moment. It must be a joy for you.
Yeah, he definitely is. I think he has the best numbers from all of our attackers. All of our attackers have great numbers, but Mo stands out in that aspect. But apart from the numbers our forwards have, let's not forget the defensive run Lucio Diaz made to make sure we could have kept a clean sheet.
Absolutely, a clean sheet, another win, 5 points clear at the top of the table. What did you feel overall about the manner in which you won the game tonight?
It wasn't easy, like most of our games has been till now, but that's normal if you play Premier League, especially against a good team like Aston Villa. They were maybe not as aggressive as we thought. They just waited, and we were patient, although sometimes I felt we were still not patient enough, because the few times they threatened us was from a counter-attack where we lost the ball in midfield, or we had control over the game and scored, which you wouldn't expect maybe from all this possession, from 2 counter-attacks.
Did you feel... Sorry. On you go.
I was going to say, did you expect to get those opportunities tonight from Aston Villa from counter-attacks?
Have you seen them do that before at corners? You know, come right so up to the edge of the box.
You mean Villa or us?
Yes, Villa.
Oh.
But there was nobody on the halfway line, no protection.
No. I think when it comes to set pieces, that's an aspect the assistant coaches do a lot. So I'm mostly looking at, okay, how do they press, how do they build up? But the set pieces are for someone else, although I'm involved, but for someone else. So the only thing I do know is that Liverpool, it's not the first time we score, they score, because a lot of times I wasn't there yet. From breaks like that, because we have players that are so fast on the counter attack. So it was good to see that we scored 2 from.
And how happy were you to see Darwin get on the score sheet today?
Yeah, happy. I wondered what would have happened if he wasn't there, because Mo was, in my opinion, he was through on goal.
Yeah, he was brought down. Yeah,
and it felt to me that the referee.
Well, he waves his hands away.
Yeah. As if it wasn't a foul.
It would have gone to VAR and they may have had a look at it.
Maybe.
He was chasing the referee, you see.
But in general, with VAR, it's like, okay, if the referee didn't blow his whistle, then 9 out of 10 times the decision on the pitch stays. So, but Darwin was there and he scored. It was good for him, because I think as a striker you always want to score. And with players around him that score so many goals, it's always nice if you're a striker, if it's Jota or if it's Darwin, that they all score on the score sheet.
So the message at half-time to be patient, be a little bit more patient, because Villa didn't necessarily jump out at you, and then it was just move the ball around to create opportunities.
No, they didn't jump out at all, I would say. Even when 1-0 down, they just stayed, they waited, let's put it that way. And I think the first half, every time we got the ball on the left, we stayed on the left, and if you got the ball on the right, we stayed on the right. And if you want to hurt a team like this, you have to switch the play much more than we did. And maybe in pressing the goal kick, we were outplayed a few times, in my opinion, too easy. So we said that we have to do this better, and especially on the ball, we were more patient than we were the first half.
Arne, we spoke to you about Crystal Palace just before the last international break when you were top, but I know you didn't want to get carried away because you spoke about the real tough tests that you had to come, but you've come through with flying colours through those tests. How do you feel about your title prospects now?
Right to it.
Now, first of all, we're really happy that we, after such a difficult period, most of our players stayed fit. Not all of them. Again, you saw with Trent also that he had to go out. So we have to wait and see how he's doing. But we had some tough tests, that's clear. But I think if I look at the games that are ahead of us after the international break, again, they are tough. So probably it's going to be a tough season in general. And that's what you know if you go to the Premier League. And margins are small. Now we have a bit of a margin, but I think it was Mikel who said many difficult away games already. Had to play that with 10 men as well. And we had difficult games, but yeah, like every game is difficult. But from a top flight, maybe it's United away and Arsenal away that were the only ones that you would expect to be top 5, top 6. So many challenges to come for us.
I don't know what are your plans now for the international break? Couple of days off?
Yeah.
Lie on a beach.
Well, you also said your wife would be happy going into the last international break with you top of the table because you could relax a bit.
That's true, but my children in the last year of their of school, and they have the upcoming week, they have some exams. So I think at first I'm a father, maybe help them a bit. My daughter's going to be difficult because that's too difficult for me to help her. But with my son, I'm maybe able to do so, and then afterwards maybe a few days enjoying some sun, if there's sun anywhere in Europe.
Those children get in the way, don't they? All those children in school.
I hope you enjoy a bit of a break, and congratulations on the win tonight. Thank you.
Brilliant, Gaffer. Well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
He's finished.
I was just asking the press officer how Trent was, because of course England are playing. I just want to see how bad his injury was. He said, "I'm not telling you."
Yeah.
He was just about to tell me, and you called me back.
Saying that they've just got to wait on Trent, but it's interesting that both you guys were saying before the game that they are just 1 or 2 injuries away from something going wrong, so they are going to need a bit of luck as well. Yes,
of course they are. And if you're a Manchester City fan, you would say they've had bad luck. They've lost De Bruyne, of course. They've lost a wonderful Rodri for the season. Arsenal have lost their Ødegaard, who's their playmaker. So of course you need to keep your best players fit.
It's the manner in which they won the game tonight.
I thought they won quite comfortably in the end. I don't think it was a vintage Liverpool performance. I've seen better performances from them. But what was the most important thing about today was just purely the result. International break, 2 weeks that they're going to be away from each other. They've had 3 games in a week, 3 tough games in a week, Brighton, Leverkusen and this. It was just about performing better than the opposition, getting the victory, particularly with results and fixtures tomorrow where closest rivals are playing each other, and then they move forward, and that's what I said early on. You don't need them to be fantastic every game. They just need to be resilient, and they need to get the 3 points.
Are there positives for Aston Villa to take tonight? Alan, did you see an improvement in their performance levels?
Yeah, I think so. I think their shape looked good. Defensively, they looked strong at times. They had a couple of opportunities from corner kicks. Where I think they were a little bit naive was the breakaways. I think the 2 goals, when you really break it down and look at them, it's not great. They should have had somebody back there defending it, possibly couldn't have. It wouldn't have happened. Diego Carlos can not just be as cute and just try and put the ball out of play. So, yes, positives to be taken.
Well, let's look at that first Liverpool goal, Macca, because it came from, as Alan said, a breakaway, a rapid counter-attack, wasn't it, from a Villa corner?
Yeah, and it's not as if Liverpool have done this before, but the setup for the corner was just naive at times, really high, and Luca Dean just gets caught between going across to the ball or running backwards. I mean, the first thing you should do is just get back towards the halfway line. But once Liverpool break, I mean, Darwin Núñez, it's a big first touch, and actually he finishes it really, really well. Goal to concede, as Alan said. The set-piece man, the Unai Emery, you'll sit and think, how have we lost today? And it's just fallen asleep at times like this.
You generally can't. You can't mark that way. You have to have somebody in the halfway line, and to have 2 of the quickest players on the pitch, and Salah and Diaz running you down against Leon Bailey and Digne, it just can't happen. It's old school. I know, you have somebody on the halfway line, mops everything up. That doesn't happen. You've got a body there to then go and clear it. They didn't learn until the third corner. It happened again, and then they brought Konsa back. So, look, you need to learn at this level quickly.
Thing is, if you're on the halfway line, you can step forward. But if you're on the edge of the box, you know, you can't go that way because Liverpool have got quicker players from you. So it'll be incredibly frustrating for the manager to concede in that way.
An assist for Mo Salah there. He got a goal as well tonight. He's just razor sharp at the moment, but it came from another breakaway.
Yes, and it came from an Aston Villa throw-in. You know, how can Liverpool score from there? You know, if you're looking at the highlights, you're thinking, oh, Aston Villa must be going to score. But no. And again, this is awful. Diego Carlos just trying to be too cute, too clever. Konsa tries to get back, but in the end switches and goes, you know what, I'll mark the goal. And you can't let Mo Salah run into the 6-yard box with a goalie to beat.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets to a time there where Konsa needs to make his mind up and say, do you know what, I'm just going to go for Salah. I'm going to try and block the ball. I'm not going to let him the opportunity go. And if he does, and he's got the ability to do it, then you hold your hands up, and it's no problem.
If he puts it on a play for one of the two Liverpool players in the box, fine. But the most lethal marksman around, you can't let him do that.
And Arne Slot has just come out to join us. Congratulations, Arne. We were just looking at the second goal there. Mo Salah, an assist for the first one. Another.
Ipswich Town are now the only side yet to win in the Premier League this season. They can change that at Spurs, of course, on Sunday. But Wolves' win lifts them off the bottom, up to 6 points. Southampton now propping the table up, and Palace just a point above the drop zone. And there's the screenshot for the Liverpool fans heading into the international break. Played 11, won 9, only one defeat, 5 points clear of Manchester City. And Arsenal, of course, if they were to lose to Chelsea tomorrow, would suddenly be 10 off Liverpool, 11 games in. Villa stay in 8th position. Reaction then from the man who can't do any wrong in Liverpool fans' eyes at the moment. Here he is, Arne Slot.
Arne, going into this international break, 5 points clear of Man City now, 10 to Arsenal. Performance-wise, is there anything that could be better after these first 17 matches?
Of course, not a lot. You can always talk about the 2 times we didn't win, but away at the Emirates, having a draw is, I think, a good result, especially if you saw that game. First half was really difficult for us. Yeah, it's nice to pick up all these points, and we don't look that much what the others do, because we also know, and City showed this in the past many times, they can be 2 points, 3 points, 5 points. I think last season they were even 8 points behind, and they will always find a way of winning than a lot of games. That's probably what they're going to do this season again as well. And Arsenal have had a very tough fixture list also. So let's not get carried away, but it's good that we've picked up these points.
Defeat for Manchester City and their victory at Anfield, 15 in 17 in all competitions under Arne Slot. He was quite honest there when he said before a ball was kicked, we weren't considered to be title favourites, but we're candidates now. I mean, it is only 11 in, but 5 clear at this stage?
Well, they were always candidates, of course. I think most people fancy Manchester City to start the season.
Well, they were most people's third favourites, fair to say.
I would say third favourites, yeah. Then a lot of people thought Arsenal. And then I think Liverpool would tip, by the way? I thought Arsenal might have a strong season this season.
Yeah, I was with Martin. Arsenal would win it, yeah.
Me and him were the 2 pundits that went Arsenal. Everyone else went Manchester City.
Long season,
Nobody said Liverpool. Nobody that I know of, anyway. But they haven't won it yet. As you know, Steve, it's still early on. Manchester City, Arsenal can both go on brilliant runs, as can other teams as well. But what a lovely position to be in. I mean, that many points ahead already. And more importantly, other teams wobbling. You know, you'd never like to see players injured, but of course, you know, Manchester City with Rodri out for the majority of the season, a few problems off the pitch. They've got a smallish squad, and if you get a few injuries to the squad, then it can be a problem. That's what's happening at the moment. And by the time they shake themselves down and get back on the straight and narrow, it might be gone if they continue in this form. You know, Liverpool might be 10 points ahead by Christmas. So you never know, but I mean, at this stage of the season, Liverpool are pinching themselves, thinking, you know, their 2 main challengers are both faltering at the moment.
And let's point out, we are concerned, obviously, with the Premier League, but Liverpool at the moment, as we sit here, are top of the Premier League and the Champions League. I mean, talk about combining the two fronts with a new manager following Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty much faultless. But I never really worried about Liverpool and Arne Slot coming in because a lot was made of the way Jurgen Klopp played football. But Arne Slot was coming into a very good team. I mean, you're talking about Alisson, one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. Van Dijk, one of the best centre-backs. Trent's probably the most technically gifted fullback we've ever seen in Premier League history. You've got Salah, one of the greats. So I almost felt like him coming into this Liverpool side wasn't going to be a massive change. All he's had to do is tweak one or two small things, but the team almost picks itself. So the fact that Liverpool are kind of pushing and look like they are probably one of the favourites for the Premier League, it doesn't really surprise me. Yes, I thought Manchester City would be better. And I didn't think they'd lose Rodri, which is unfortunate. I thought Arsenal would look better, but the Odegaard situation and one or two decision-makings, maybe the pressure's getting to Arsenal a little bit. But I always felt Liverpool would be in the mix. Now, yes, they've been pretty much faultless. I still don't think we've seen them play to their absolute maximum yet. But, again, if you're a Liverpool fan, that's got to be a positive, right? You're 5 points clear and you're still probably at, I'd say, 90%. I still think there's a little bit extra. I think the Brighton game, I think last weekend they gave them problems. I think Villa, a couple of set plays, Kelleher pulled them out a little bit. So, as good as Liverpool have been, and they have been fantastic, I still think there's a little bit more room for improvement.
And there's certainly room for improvement with Darwin Núñez, because he's a bit of an enigma, isn't he? He arguably could have had a hat-trick today. 2 great chances, but he did get that all-important first goal with a very good finish that you were impressed with from the Villa corner.
Yeah. Steve, this was a theme of the match. Villa, every time they had a corner, it seemed like Liverpool would go on a counter and either score or had a very good chance. I mean, I know Villa have got a set-piece coach, but they need to mop up on set pieces 4. This was a very good goal. This is a very good finish. Said before, when he doesn't have time to think, when it all comes natural, then Núñez can finish. Referee plays a good advantage. Got to mention that. I think there's a sending off and a free kick for Liverpool. However, of course, they'd like the play to continue and to score the goal. And it was a lovely finish. I like the way he lifts it here because Martinez, he knows that Núñez wants to go around the goalkeeper here, so he stays on his feet and actually does well. He gets across fine, but just lifting that ball into the roof of the net was the finish that was just called for at that time, and obviously puts Liverpool ahead at the top end.
A lot of people saying about Arsenal, they're playing Havertz, Jesus, they still need a striker. If anything happens to Haaland, now Alvarez has gone at City, what happens there? Where Liverpool, when they've all fit, Jota's not available at the moment, they've got 5 for 3 positions.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, it wasn't a problem for Arsenal last year, but then a little bit of luck with injuries because they weren't that many. So they all got their goals. I think Arsenal were second highest goal scorers in the league last year, so it wasn't much of an issue. But when you get scenarios like this, where they are struggling to find the net, and then you look at the options, as you said, that Liverpool have got, because I agree with you, if City were to lose Haaland, that's equally as impactful, if not more, than Rodri, because for me, he's their main source of goals. If he doesn't score, who's going to step up and score goals consistently? But for Liverpool at the minute, as you said there, if Salah doesn't score, I mean, he seems to be the mainstay because he's so durable. If he doesn't score, I know Jota's out, but he's shown that he's more than capable. Gakpo can come on and get a goal. Darwin Núñez will get his goals. Luis Diaz. They've got so many different options, and again, that has to play into Liverpool's favour because no centre forward goes the whole entire season where you're scoring goals every single week. At some point, you have a bit of a dry spell. For Liverpool, if one of them has a dry spell, Salah has a dry spell, they've got another 4 options, so you have to say that obviously plays into their hands.
Salah's certainly not having a dry spell at the start. He's into double figures now. His goal sealed it.
Yeah, he just doesn't go through dry spells, does he? He's just a goal machine. Incredible. He's going past everybody at the moment. Up another place in the standings not so long ago, the Premier League all-time standings. This is, you never doubt when Mo Salah's got time like this. You don't doubt him anymore, do you? Conversely, when we see Darwin Núñez going through one-on-one, you sort of think, oh, he's not going to score. Whereas, I mean, you spotted this, Benty. Just explain this defending, please.
Yeah, I mean, for Konza, it's got to go and affect the ball. Mo Salah's the most dangerous that I think they're going to affect the ball.
This is incredible.
But he chooses to opt and go away, and he almost makes up Salah's mind for him. And in that position there, being Salah, being the goal scorer that he is, he's probably delighted that Konza's done that, because if Konza goes and affects the ball, he has to play it, square it. I mean, of course, it's a tap-in for Luis Diaz, but the fact that he completely runs towards Salah and then goes completely away almost makes Salah's mind up, and as Michael said there, such a composed finish.
He also said he'd nudged his way up, recently went above Robbie Fowler in the all-time scorers. He's 165 there, 10 off Thierry Henry, 12 off Frank Lampard, who's with us tomorrow, almost 20 off Aguero. If he was to sign and stay at Liverpool, I mean, where realistically, because we know what Mo Salah's like with records and numbers, he knows them all.
Yeah.
Where could he nudge his way to, do you think?
I don't think he could. I don't think he can catch Shearer, but he can be second.
Really?
Yeah, if he stays.
Yeah.
If he signs another 3-year contract, he could probably will score 60 or 70 more goals. He's in second, and comfortably in second. I don't think he can catch Alan Shearer, but 3 more years and he's in second, Steve. I mean, he's not slowing down at all. He's the fittest. He's the strongest.
Well, Arne Slot was
player.
saying he can play long into his career, couldn't he?
I think he can. The way he looks after himself.
Alan Shearer might be hoping he can't, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I'd say he can't catch it. I say he can't catch him. I mean, if he plays for another 5 years at Liverpool, then he probably could. But realistically, I think he could get second. And he loves records. And he's a fitness fanatic. He is the most dedicated footballer. He never misses games. He never gets injured. He's an absolute beast. He lives in the gym. He lives for scoring goals and breaking records. So if he stays at Liverpool, yeah, I think he can get second.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting second from Michael, but I definitely thought when I looked at the graphic, him being on in 200, he'll get to in that 200 club, I think, for sure. I mean, second, I'm not sure, and depends how long, as you said, if he plays another 5 years, but in my head I was thinking he'll get into that 200 club. I think he could pass Rooney. I think 208 Rooney's on, so I think he could pass him, but I can't see him getting to Alan Shearer's record, that 260. I still look at that now and it blows my mind how anyone could get that many goals, 260.
Well, Kane would have beaten him though, wouldn't he? If he had stayed.
Yeah, you'd think so, because Kane's been scoring, near enough 30 goals for the last 10 years.
He could come back, Harry, yeah, you never know.
Still, but yeah.
He could come back.
Absolutely. He should come back.
All right, Mo Salah, another goal for him, another win for Liverpool. You wouldn't expect him to get carried away.
No. Everything I see about it, I just like what I hear. I like what I see. I like his reactions. I like, from the chaos of Klopp and the fist pumping and the it's actually quite nice that a different character has come in. I think otherwise people would be comparing him too much. Whereas I think he's totally the opposite. He's calm, he's calculated, he just looks in control. And it's easy to be like that after you've won a few games. But even in his first game, before he'd even taken charge of a game, I just loved his demeanour on the side of the pitch. And, the fans are starting to love him and starting.
I mean, the three of us obviously at Ipswich on the opening day when he got his first win. I mean, we couldn't have predicted what would happen in all competitions since then.
No, 100% not. But they played well. They were second half. They came out and showed what they were all about.
If they both run alongside the ball and keep their line, then that's fine. But Konate actually encroaches on his line and he puts his foot across him there. And that leans me to think maybe just on the side of it could be a penalty. But I do agree with Darren. I don't know why. Your reaction says everything. And when he jumps up, Ollie Watkins, I think the referee all of a sudden thinks, well, he's not appealing for it.
So as a striker, what should he do there then?
Probably egg it on a little bit more. You coach that, Ollie. You bad man.
And you're not disagreeing with him.
You're asking the wrong people.
Yeah, it's been a brilliantly entertaining first half at Anfield with Liverpool 1-0 up. Steve McManaman and Alan Hutton watching with me. And it's been a tale of 4 corners, but we have all 4 corners covered. Alan, firstly, how did Liverpool score from a Villa corner?
Well, I mean, that's the big question mark over the whole situation. I just really feel from a defending point of view, if you look here, they look all right, but I've never seen this before in my life where you're pushed up that far up the pitch with no defender. You've got Salah running forward who's really quick. You've got Nunez that's really quick. So you're actually asking 2 defenders. This is a great view. You see Digne there, he thinks he's in a good position. He has to drop back. I can't believe that they've not got anybody there. As soon as the ball's cleared by Van Dijk, you see him putting it forward. Look, it's a foot race. Bailey v Salah and Nunez. He's never going to catch up with him. And after that, look, it's a big touch there, but he does ever so well. I think Martinez possibly goes down a little bit early, but that's a great goal from Liverpool. From Villa's point of view, it's really poor defensively.
Yeah, it was awful, wasn't it?
It's really poor.
And this was a carbon copy. They don't learn from the mistakes at all. Mistake, break, and Liverpool are off. And actually, to be hypercritical of Darwin Nunez, he probably should have just gone with his left foot. But he's tried to run around the ball, open up the goal, and it just bobbles up a little bit, and he's off balance and he's leaning back. If he just keeps on going straight and just smashes it with his left foot, he probably gets his second. But the game's been really enjoyable. And Villa are still in it. They're playing really well.
Yeah, you can see how frustrated he was with that miss. Villa, though, could have scored a couple from their own corners, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, it's something under Austin McPhee that worked really hard on. You see here, it's a great delivery in a dangerous area and a real good header from Onana. He gets up nice and early. I think that's Van Dijk that's trying to match him, but Kelleher in goal, it's a great stop.
Yeah, and this is Diego Carlos, another flick, and it's just a reactive save and a lovely block by Gravenberch. But what a stop that is from the goalkeeper. He's really kept them in the game. 2 outstanding saves.
But again, his reaction's there. I mean, he spoke about the rivals as well. I just like his whole demeanour and his character, and he's doing a fantastic job.
He certainly is. Gentlemen, thank you for your company, Michael and Darren. So what a situation for Liverpool to be in as we head into the international break. 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League from the three of us. We'll see you soon.